Thanks everybody for joining us today. We are here for another live stream, American Coin and Currency. We'll be joined today by John Madey as well as our special guest, Rachel Stolrow, and we're going to be joining us today here. Thanks for you guys for being here. This is our weekly stream every Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern. This week, we're going to be focusing on self-directed IRAs. Unlocking the Power of Self-Directed IRAs is our title today. Today we have Rachel today from the Entrust Group. And we'll be having our co-host today, John Madey, as well. CEO, founder of American Coin and Currency. Rachel Stolrow from Entrust Group, Business Development Manager. Thanks for being with us today. How's it going?
Thank you. Good. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Yeah. For our first guest, appreciate you being here. We've been doing this for about a month and a half, so it's good to have a new voice and new perspectives, being in the industry as well. A little bit different than what we're doing, but same part of the industry essentially. Let's get into the intros. Myself, I was originally in the e-commerce business for 12 years. I distributed electronics across the world, been in marketing, been on eBay since 1999. Been collecting a variety of items such as coins, stamps, and toy cars. And as I got older, I got into graded Pokemon cards, which is a little bit interesting in that kind of segue being in the numismatic industry. So I realized some of that finite and intrinsic value when it comes to collecting. And then, John, go ahead and introduce yourself and who you are and what you're doing.
Sure. Well, first, Rachel, thank you for joining us. It's a real pleasure, and I'm really looking forward to our conversation because I know that you're a wealth of knowledge, and I know a lot of people are going to benefit by you being on our show today. So thank you for that.
Of course, thanks for having us.
So my name is John Madey. I'm the CEO of American Coin and Currency and ACDC Labs. I've been an entrepreneur pretty much my entire life. I've started and built and sold a few companies over the years. So I got into the coin collecting fascination for me when I was a kid, and kind of always did it. And then when my son was younger, him and I started collecting and started with pennies like most people do, and trying to fill books, get all the years. And so about 15 years ago, I decided to turn it into a professional full-time business, and it's just been off and running since then. And I love coming to the office every day. I'm one of these people that I truly, genuinely love what I do. So I'm blessed, and I thank God for that every day.
Fantastic. Yeah,
Awesome.
Thanks for introducing yourself. If you want me to introduce you a little bit, so here's a little bit about Rachel. She's Business Development Manager in Entrust Group, over 9 years experience in helping professionals, investors utilize retirement accounts for alternative investments. Rachel's led key platform improvements, onboarding 1,300 companies and dedicated to streamlining processes, empowering clients to make informative investment decisions. Thank you, Rachel, for being here.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Problem. Maybe a little bit about yourself. First, how you got involved in the world of investing.
Yeah, so actually, I fell into this world of self-directed investing prior to my role at Entrust, or me working at Entrust. As mentioned, it's been over 9 years, so quite some time. I worked in the property management field, and so I really liked real estate, but working with people in their homes, as you know, it's a very personal thing, and I was ready to just try something new. And so when I was job searching, I thought, wow, real estate and IRAs sounds interesting. I'm gonna, go for it. And so that's really how I actually started my journey into this whole self-directed investing, learning about what can be held in a retirement plan. It's truly, I just fell into it and have grown to love it. And, the education piece and working with clients.
Nice. Yeah, it seems like a good segue.
Yep.
That makes sense. So yeah, what was What was that like aha moment when you realized more of a retirement plan than just stocks and mutual funds?
Yep. So kind of leading in from like the last question. So I was like, wow, you can invest in real estate. I'm going to learn a little bit more. Once I started working here, it opened my eyes to just how many alternative investments or assets there really were and what type of investments can really be held. As we all know, most of us have retirement plans or know of a retirement plan and the traditional stocks that can be held in it. And so working here and working with so many different companies over the last 9 years, learning more about their business. I love asking questions, how they work, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, just, my pure experience in working here and with different companies over the years has really opened my eyes to just how many investments can be held within a plan.
Yeah, it's a great approach to be personal and having that touch. So being able to, know your clients.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah, I love that. So uh, what is like a 60-second pitch for those who don't understand self-directed IRAs?
Yep. So a quick 60-second pitch is a self-directed IRA or SDIRA is very much it has the same tax benefits of any normal plan that you may be used to, whether a Roth or a traditional plan. However, a self-directed custodian does not put limitations on clients into what they can invest in. We simply allow what the IRS permits, which is almost anything you can think of besides three investments, which are insurance policies, an S corporation, and collectibles such as baseball cards, antiques, pictures, things of that nature.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yep.
Why, Rachel, why is it that those items can't be included? Insurance, S corps, and collectibles.
Yep. So S corp would have their own personal gain or benefit outside of the retirement plan. Insurance policies, although some clients do find some workarounds to make some sort of investment into these types of plans. Honestly, I don't know. I haven't looked into it much. And it's actually, you're the first person that asked me, and I probably should see what is it really about an insurance policy that can't be held right within a plan. And then things like antiques are, I'm sure with the fluctuation of value, again, something I should look into a little bit more. Yeah, but those would be the three things that can't be held besides, and I know we're going to get into it later, prohibited transactions and people.
Yeah, thank you for that. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, actually, yeah. Hey, I love learning. So like I said, it just
Likewise.
gives me something to look at. Yeah. Gives me something to look at more.
I would think insurance, like whole life, you get involved in that. That's its whole thing. It's a whole thing on its own, and all the attributes and all the benefits that are available with people that do whole life policies and all that. S corp makes total sense, and collectibles, that makes sense as well. And we've had this discussion before because I've had customers ask if they can put graded, because like let's say, and I don't mean to get ahead, but real quick, silver eagles are obviously allowed in a SDIRA, and so a lot of people think, well, I have a silver eagle that's in a NGC holder or PCGS holder, why can't this be put in? But I think the issue is with collectibles, the coming up with the values, and as opposed to the raw metal. You look at what spot is from day to day, what your value is, and you can mark to market. You can't do that so easily with collectibles. So that makes sense. You can't mark to market.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
That makes sense. Yeah, because it's hard to determine the price is constantly fluctuating. That's interesting. Yeah,
and what I would assume, what I perceive as something being valuable, someone else may not perceive it to have the same value. So probably goes into that as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's perceived value. Yeah. That's hard to determine. That makes sense. Yeah. So it would be like if it was like a baseball card that wasn't graded, just like a non-graded baseball card.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. No collectibles at all.
Which collectibles. That makes sense. That's hard to value.
But there's
Yeah,
so much that can be done with these, and I'll tell you real quickly as well. When Rachel and I have had a relationship now for a couple of years, and when we first, when American Coin was first looking to get involved and offer this incredible alternative investment for our customers, to have precious metals backed IRAs. We were looking and doing research and trying to find the right partner, and I could tell you that the Entrust Group is, in my opinion, by far the best partner we could have chosen, and the level of service and attention to detail that we've received from Rachel and the Entrust Group is bar none. So that
I appreciate
really
that. Thank you.
finding a
We
winning
try.
team.
Yeah, we
really
definitely
helped.
try.
That's a great endorsement. Love to hear that. Before we get into the main discussion, I want to mention, Rachel, if you want to add any disclaimers to our
Yes,
audience.
absolutely. So as we have to start every webinar, this is for educational purposes only. We can't endorse, promote, do due diligence on any particular product, company, service, etc. So please, we always encourage clients, do your due diligence. If you have an advisor, need to seek, advice from an attorney or your own financial advisor, always do so before entering into any sort of investment.
That's fair.
Good advice.
That's great advice. I love that. All right, let's get into it, guys. So what is a self-directed? I mean, we kind of went through that, but what are some what differs from traditional IRAs offered by banks and brokerages?
Yep. So your mainstream retirement plan that you may be used to invest in the public market. So stocks, bonds, mutual funds, all those publicly traded assets are what people are used to holding in their plan. And so a self-directed custodian, as I touched on a little bit earlier, they don't put those limitations on clients. So if they want to invest in things like a startup, venture capital, precious metals is a really big one lately. Okay. Real estate, you name it, all can be held within a retirement plan. So that's how we differ. We don't put limitations on clients, where they may do due diligence for you, right? Like a traditional brokerage may do due diligence for you. Again, that's something I touched on. It's something that self-directed custodians do not do, right? So there are different services that we provide.
Does this include digital assets?
So clients can, yes, invest in cryptocurrency with an IRA. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yep. Yeah, that's good. It's good. We have a lot of audience in that industry. So
yep.
So yeah, what type of alternative assets? You mentioned some. If there's anything that you haven't mentioned that people can invest in.
Yep. So it's funny. I always flip this question when clients ask me to. Basically, the right question is, what can't I invest in? And it's those three things that we mentioned. Other than that, you can almost invest, like I said, in anything that you want. So again, really popular ones could be hedge funds, private equity, a startup company. People don't know this, but you can do private lending through your retirement plan, medical companies, medical tech, technology. The list truly goes on and on. Real estate, and not just real estate in terms of a real estate fund, but you can actually have fix and flips. You can have shorter long-term rentals. Truly, the list goes on and on in what can be held within a plan.
Wow, that's a huge basket.
That's just the tip of the iceberg.
Well, yeah, our audience definitely got to look into self-directed IRAs to understand it more. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Do you want to simply put out the Entrust Group's website if anyone wants to go and look?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'll add that to our chat here. So,
yeah. So pretty much, it's fascinating that there's so many different investment vehicles that can be wrapped up and put in an SDIRA.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know anything about private lending. That's fascinating to me.
Yep.
And you briefly mentioned how precious metals have become very popular in recent years. I see that too, obviously being in the business, but more and more customers are exploring this alternative. and there's a lot of benefits to it, obviously. So, yeah, this is just great information we're putting out there. I love it.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, it kind of, you're able to have like a wide net of interests that come from different, sectors, and
Yes. Yeah,
yeah,
and that's
that's
why I've worked with so many companies, because you think like, wow, that's a lot. And then when you realize just how many investments can be held, it kind of makes sense. We work with a lot of companies across different types of industries. And yeah, it's you learn quite a bit, and there are, like I said, quite a few investments that can be held. Almost endless.
wow, that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
That's great.
So yeah, here we go. So if I were to invest, what are some of like my rollover funds for like my 401k, um, or another IRA, into a self-directed IRA without any penalties?
Yeah, absolutely. So almost any retirement plan, 401k, IRA, 403b, can all be rolled into a self-directed IRA. A
Mm,
lot of clients will leave a job or have some old 401k that they're maybe not doing anything with, and then they realize, hey, this investment that I want to make, they're actually accepting IRA funds. How do I move my money and invest? So a lot of clients, again, any qualified retirement plan can move into an IRA here. It does not incur penalties for the client to do so. There are different processes depending on your plan that you have. And sometimes, if you are currently employed with the plan holder of your 401k, there could be limitations set forth by that company if you can have access to those funds. But they can all be moved here. They can be consolidated. If you have 3 old traditional accounts, move it into one traditional IRA plan here. And now you can leverage that and make your investment.
mm. Yeah, that's a good safety net for sure.
And I'd like to point something out real quick from personal experience. Uh, when setting these up, when rolling over an IRA from another source, uh, it's a very, very, and I'm just saying this for the people that are listening out there, it's a really easy process now. Not like years ago where we used to have to send like look like a novel to the customer, and they have to sign in a million places. They so streamlined now. It's very quick. It's very seamless, and yeah, I advise that people that have interest reach out to Rachel and myself, and get more information on this, because it really is a handy tool to have. Um, I do have a couple questions, but I don't want to get ahead of you, Dustin. Yeah.
Go
Thank
ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Jump in for sure.
you. Okay. Now, of course, I forgot it. Now you said that. So, ask a question, Dustin. So this one will pop back in my head.
Oh, for sure. So how does the check control work when using an IRA LLC, and when is it beneficial?
Yeah, so checkbook control. Some clients will, I say some, but quite a few clients have a single member LLC for their retirement plan. A lot of clients who choose this option will actually be investing in real estate or cryptocurrency, at least our clients. And so did you say some of the benefits? I apologize.
Yeah. When is it beneficial?
So it could be beneficial for clients when investing in real estate, just because you need quick access to funds. So say, for example, somebody was doing a short-term rental and the client is, the renter is paying you. You get quick access right to your funds in terms of getting paid, quick access. If you need the money, you need to fix it really fast and hire somebody to do work on the property, like maintenance, cleaning, etc. Because even though you can maybe do those things on your own, you're not permitted to. You have to hire an outside party.
Okay.
and pay for these services. So it gives those types of clients quick access to money instead of maybe sending a form to a custodian. Now the custodian's reviewing, okay, what is this invoice for? Who are we paying? Sending the money out a day or two later. So a lot of clients who, again, want quick turnaround time, quick access to funds, and maybe are comfortable doing the record keeping on their own because it's outside of our purview. Once it's in an LLC, may have benefit from using this.
That makes sense.
Great information. Yeah. I do remember my question now.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to take my mother as an example. Every year, my mother's going to be 79. So the beginning of every year in January, I take care of her mandatory distribution for her, and she receives a wire to her bank account. Now, if my mom had some of those assets put into a precious metals backed SDIRA, when it came time for distributions, instead of receive, and I don't know the exact answer to this, that's why I'm asking Rachel. So instead of receiving actual funds in the form of fiat currency in that distribution, if some of those funds were in precious metals in a self-directed IRA, would we be able to get the metal shipped to us instead of getting a cash distribution? Can we get a metal distribution?
Absolutely. It's called an in-kind distribution, and clients do that for not just metals, but different asset classes. You see this in real estate as well.
Yeah, and I've had this discussion previously with a few people, and I'm setting this up for myself actually, because I want to, when I get to be that age, I'm 52 now, but so I have a little bit of time, and hopefully it doesn't go too fast. But when I do get to that point of having to take mandatory distributions at, was it 72, 70, 71, you have to start
70,
taking?
I think it's 72 and a half now.
70, that's right. I knew there was a half in there somewhere. So yeah, I want to be able to have the gold sent to me as opposed to fiat currency.
You can do that.
Or no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. You can do that. Or say you don't want to and you don't have any cash in your Entrust plan. You can actually take out your distribution at a different custodian as long as the aggregate of all your distributions is what you're required to take. You also don't need to take it out of your plan here.
I love that. I love that idea of just having that metal there, because it's such a great hedge against inflation. Everyone knows this. That's common knowledge, and maybe doesn't work for everyone. Everyone's goals are different. Everyone has different risk tolerances. We all know this. For me personally, I like that idea of when I start taking mandatory distributions in 20 years to 19 and a half years to have physical metal sent to me if I so choose. If I choose that is very attractive. And that's why we're having this conversation today. I think many, many more people will realize the benefits and want to get involved.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, great question. So what are some of the type of precious metals you can add to an SDRAs?
Yeah, so I'll let John elaborate a little bit more, but gold, silver, platinum, and palladium of certain grades and purity are what is permitted.
Yep. Yeah, so Rachel and I have had this conversation in the past in depth, and that's when we came across that bridge of collectibles in the IRA and that they're not allowed. So like I brought this coin up earlier, graded Silver Eagle. I mean, and there are some Silver Eagles that are worth, 1995 W proof in PCGS Mint State 70. I'm sorry, proof 70 is a $25,000 coin, but it's an ounce of silver. So we had talked about this and wanting to put those in the IRA. Of course, that's not Rachel's decision to allow it or not allow it. That's the government that dictates that. But in terms of you could put a lot of other things into your precious metal backed SD IRA. So American Gold Eagles, Platinum Eagles, Palladium Eagles, Silver Eagles. I think what it really boils down to is the purity. Now, what's funny is that American Gold Eagles, as opposed to, let's say, like Canadian Maple Leafs, the Maple Leafs are either 999 or quadruple nine pure. American Gold Eagles are actually, I believe, 92% pure, but they have an ounce of gold in them. Just like Krugerrands, they weigh more than an ounce, but the sum total is an ounce of gold. So I'm looking at the sheet here, which is available on Entrust's website, the Entrust Group's website, and it shows the different metals. And then, so let's take gold real quick. American Eagles, American Buffaloes, Australian Kangaroo. That's a beautiful coin, by the way. Australian Nuggets, Austrian Philharmonics, I'm very familiar with, Canadian Maple Leafs, bars and rounds produced by a refiner, assayer, manufacturer, accredited by NYMEX, COMEX, NYSE, et cetera, et cetera. There's some other organizations in the world, or national government mint, and meeting minimum fineness requirements. So I think the fineness is what it really boils down to. So you're not going to be able to put like gold sovereigns in there, because those are like 70% pure. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different options here, and we do source all these products already for our customers. So that part's really easy. I'm telling you, folks, this is it's a very easy process once you get your arms around it, from start to finish. It's a pretty seamless process. It's quick, and you have Rachel to help you. You have myself to help you. So that's what we want to do. We want to help you out and answer questions, and hopefully get you set up in your own precious metals backed self-directed IRA.
And thanks for pulling that up there. So yeah, this is our website, theintrustgroup.com. There's a wealth of knowledge. Our marketing team does a wonderful job at putting a lot of information on. So we have a learning center. It's a free center to learn pretty much about any topic you may want to learn about. But if you go to the search and put in precious metals, that's where this specific page that's being referenced is on. And it goes through parties involved in precious metals investing, the different types. I think some, not all, of the precious metals that can be held. I believe it's that first one. So it's a great resource. Go on there, look there, and learn a little bit more about precious metals. We also have a wonderful precious metals team that are very, very knowledgeable in this specific industry as well.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what I was looking at. So there's a plethora of information on Entrust Group's website. So Rachel, perhaps you could just take me step by step. So let's say, so my role in this, just so I could be clear with everyone listening, I'm obviously a rare coin dealer, but I'm also a precious metals dealer. And so if I have a customer who, let's say they have $500,000 in the world of IRAs, believe it or not, that's not a terrific amount of money. I think there's $13.7 trillion somewhere around there sitting in IRAs in the United States. So, but $500,000 is still a lot of money to anyone. So I have a customer with $500,000, and they're looking to now take that, and it's a portion of their overall, and they want to put it into a precious metals backed self-directed IRA. So they contact me that they want to do this. My next step is I'm going to contact Rachel, and I'm going to lean on Rachel because she's really the expert on her side and on the custodian side of this. So Rachel and I would then speak with this customer, and perhaps Rachel, you could just walk me through the rest of it from the time that you meet the customer to the point where, it's set up, and then I purchase the precious metals, send them to the depository, and then they're off and running. So maybe you could quickly just go over the process.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll go over the general process of self-directed investing, and then specifically into precious metals. So pretty much all self-directed investments are 3 steps: open the account, fund your account, submit your investment documents. So pretty easy. When you get into it, you'll realize there's a little more paperwork involved than you're trading stocks. But what's nice, as John mentioned, we have a really good team here at Entrust. So myself, my team member, Mike Dolan, we're really good at walking clients through the process. And so when it comes to precious metals specifically, number one, they would establish their plan. Number two, they would direct their current custodian to send funds to the Entrust Group through a transfer or a rollover. Step number three is pretty much the same, submitting those investment documents. What it would be with precious metals is the dealer invoice. And then there's two other things we need specifically for precious metals. Number one is our bi-direction letter, which goes with any investment a client's making. But number two is the depository election form. So clients need to select their depository. We work with, I believe, 5 depositories that clients can choose from. And once we get those 3 things, again, that would be the Entrust bi-direction letter, which is a form that goes hand in hand with the dealer invoice, and the depository election form. We would then review it, send money to the dealer. Dealer sends metals to the depository. And then we would fully book that asset once we get confirmation from the depository that metals were received.
Excellent. And these depositories, are they in generally Delaware?
So we have Dakota, Delaware, Idaho, and AM Global. I made sure to look that up before the call because I think we recently added one of those. And then some are in specific locations. So, and they can all be found actually through that precious metals site that we went on. If you click on depository within that site, it goes through the locations, but I'm seeing Dallas, Delaware, North Dakota, Nevada, Idaho would be the states where these depositories are located.
Yep. And just people listening, just so you know, these depositories are literally like Fort Knox. There's billions of dollars worth of all kinds of good stuff in there. Your assets are very safe. And there's really interesting information up there. So Rachel, thank you for that information there. But from start to finish, from how long do you think and of course this is different with everyone, but just generally, I'm not going to hold you to it, no one else will, but generally, what's the time frame between, okay, I want to start, send me the documents to DocuSign to the point where the assets are in the depository? Just generally, how long is the time frame?
Yes. So applications, the easiest, takes less than 10 minutes to complete. Number 2, transferring or rolling over funds. This is probably the longest piece of the process, just because we're dealing with another custodian. So is your money tied up? Do you need to liquidate? How motivated is this custodian to release your funds over to your new retirement plan holder? So typical time frame is 7 to 10 days. Have we seen it shorter? Have we seen it longer? Absolutely, definitely have. And then step number 3 is processing investment documents. So for us, the precious metal side of things, they review the dealer invoice and discussed forms in about, I would say, 3 to 4 business days. And from there, we release funds over to the dealer of your choice. And then from there, dealer takes it right and then ships the metals. So I'll let you touch on how long it takes in terms of shipping the metal side of things, but that's for the Entrust portion.
Wow, that's really, really expedited. I mean, I was expecting it to be a little longer than that. So, I mean, that's great. That
our team works pretty quick.
Yeah, I know that's fantastic. And as far as on our side, once we get the getting the metals, that's literally a phone call or an email. Doesn't matter if you need $1 million, $10 million worth of precious, but it's a phone call. And then we get the metals, and actually we would just drop ship them directly to the custodian. So we're talking on my end, on our end here, of just a few days, literally, to get that part taken care of. So
yep, and that would be to the chosen depository that the client. Right. So once client opens or submits the depository election form, our team will establish it at that depository. Yep, and then as John mentioned, dealer will send it to that depository. A lot of clients get confused. Do we hold the metals? Do they get to hold the metals? All those cannot. It needs to be at a depository, a certified depository.
Yes. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah, ironically, the Idaho Armored Vaults is actually located in my city.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, to the segregated storage and allocation.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
small world. Wow, so I guess there is some value where I live. Cool. Interesting.
So I did have one other question that only Rachel could answer. Out of the different asset classes that you have that people can invest, not that you have, but that people can invest in with their self-directed IRAs, which do you see that which ones have become most popular, or do you see the most flow into? Is it crypto? Is it precious metals? Is it, where you could write loans, private lending, things like that? Like what are the top two that you see the flow of money going into?
Yep. So our tried and true real estate and precious metals has been a very large one. I would say the last 2 years, there has been a growing number of clients investing in precious metals, although it's something that we've specialized in custodying for quite some time.
Okay. Thank you. Real estate and precious metals. That makes complete sense.
Yep.
Okay.
And real estate, when I say real estate, it's all sorts of real estate, whether that's a real estate fund or people who are wanting to do short or long-term rentals. So it's a very general term for, different parts of that industry.
And is it the governing body that oversees your industry? Is that SIPC? Is that FDIC? Is it the SEC?
So that's a great question. So the Entrust Group specifically is an administrator, right? So we just do the record keeping and reporting for the IRA. And then the custodian, where assets are required to be held in a retirement plan, is our Entrust Trust Company. And our trust company is headquartered in Nashville, Tennessee. And yes, we're regulated by the IRS and other state and federal authorities.
Okay. Good to know.
We also do our own, we hire to do, external audits as well. So we have several layers of audits that we do and, regulatory bodies that we need to withhold by as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. So that's what makes this unique. You actually don't realize when you start looking into this world of, self-directing your retirement plan, that not all administrators on the surface, like the Entrust Group, are their own custodian where. So again, that makes us pretty unique, is that we have our own trust company as well.
So other companies out there might not, could you go a little deeper in that? So they might not have their own trust company. So
they may have what's called a silent custodian. So on the front end, it looks like you're working and you are working with the administrator, but on the back end, your investment may silently be held at a different custodian. Where again, the Entrust company, we have our administrator, which does the record keeping and reporting, but we can't do the custodying because we're not a trust company. So that's where our trust company comes into play. And again, that's the Entrust Trust Company. And so they have their own set of regulations that they need to follow to custody retirement plans and their assets.
So basically you're a one-stop shop. That's great. Everything's there that's needed.
Yep. A lot of clients, they get a lot of knowledge and years of experience with us. That's for sure.
And who couldn't use that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been established?
Over 40 years. So we arguably are one of the very first self-directed custodians ever established. So it is definitely something we've been doing for quite some time. It's something that we specialize in. So we're not a brokerage. We're not integrated with a brokerage, at least as of now. So truly, we specialize in alternative assets and alternative assets only.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Was there a law in was there a law or something that changed 40 years ago that made it so an organization like yours would offer what you offer? And you might not even, I might not even been asking this the correct way. I'm just wondering, just if something changed, that all of a sudden maybe some laws were created or taken away that now allowed for people to do what we've been talking about. That would make sense to me. You're kind of shackled with traditional IRAs, pensions,
Right.
in that, and I go through it pretty often because I have money in traditional, and I look at what it's invested in, and I'm just like, oh, this is just, so the reason, going back to the beginning of this conversation, of me now, I'm going to start my own because it works for me. That kind of investment, having precious metals backed self-directed IRA. Um, there's a lot of options out there for people on where to put their money, and you really need to do your due diligence. You really need to have people that you feel comfortable with and people that you trust to handle this, because I mean, let's be frank, this is, for a lot of times, most of the time, what is in that IRA or that pension, there's a representation of someone's life work.
I was going to say
And
that is people's life savings. It's very personal.
yeah,
It means a lot to them, and they've worked really hard throughout the course of different careers or ventures, right, to get this money into a plan.
yeah, so it's really important, and I know Rachel understands the importance of what she does, and I do as well. And I just want to put that out there, that we respect that, and we know what that pool of money represents. So, anyone listening that wants to get some more information, and no question is a dumb question. We're open to all questions. So yeah, please reach out to myself, and our information will be up there at some point, to answer any additional questions that you might have. And just listen, knowledge is power. We all know that. So learning more about this, there's no downside in at least getting information and learning more about this.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, like I always tell people, ask away. We can't give financial advice. We can't, again, make any recommendations or endorsements. However, if you ask us a question that we know, is either permissible or not within a retirement plan, if we can answer it, we will. So, like you said, no question is a silly question. We're always happy to be a resource in an area that we're able to.
For sure.
Yeah. For that.
The segue into the question section actually is perfect. You guys mentioning about
Perfect.
Perfect. Let's see what we got here. We got, can IRAs be structured to provide liquidity in times of market volatility?
Can you say that one more time?
Can IRAs be structured to provide liquidity in times of market volatility?
Well, an IRA itself is an IRA, right? So if you want your investments to be quote unquote liquid, you can, like a lot of stocks are. When it comes to alternative investing specifically, a lot of clients make an investment knowing that most likely it's not quite as liquid as the traditional stock market, or just simply not having your money invested anywhere, right? Liquid cash is liquid cash. So what I mean by that is sometimes clients will invest in maybe a startup, where if you're investing in a startup, your money can be tied up for a very long time, depending on how long it takes for that company to get started, to start being profitable, etc. So your level of liquidity would be very much dictated by what the client chooses to invest in and where they choose to put their money.
That makes sense. Yeah. Depends on their risk tolerance. All right. Well, hope that answered your question. We'll move on here to another question. It's like it got cut off here. What are certain types of gold or silver that are not permitted in an IRA? What purity or certification looks like?
I'll let you take that away, John.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
a question.
So graded coins, not allowed. Don't even try it. Purity matters. So anything, gold, 999, quadruple 9, American gold eagles, platinum eagles, silver eagles. So the same will apply with the gold coins I mentioned earlier as with the silver. So you have silver Philharmonics. Basically think any mint, not any, but the Royal Mint, the Canadian Mint, uh, the Perth Mint, United States Mint,
Okay.
Austrian Mint. They produce bullion coins, and most of those bullion coins will be allowed into an IRA. Not all.
Yeah, that makes sense. So not just like any mint or just bullion, like I mean,
Yeah.
so bullion.
So my understanding and is that, so let's say I'm American Coin and Currency wants to create its own 1-ounce silver rounds with our logo on it. I don't believe that will be applicable to have invested into a precious metals backed self-directed IRA, as opposed to getting those silver rounds that have an American eagle on them or a maple leaf from the Canadian mint. Those will be allowed. You know what I'm saying? Do you follow me on that? So I don't
Yeah.
believe that private mint issuers,
Right.
you can't put that, because there's really no way to test. The purity can't be tested on the other side of this equation, right? So you have to go by what's traditional and what's known to be what it is. So anything from the U.S.
Right.
Mint, American Eagles, that's 999 pure. A gold maple leaf is going to be 999 or quadruple nine pure gold. So
That makes sense.
that's
Yeah.
a long, short answer.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you can't guess the purity, and it's not like, they're testing it to make sure the purity. Yeah, so you just have to stick to
And
the tried
I
and
hate to
true.
bring it up, but I will, in that there are people out there or organizations, I could already see it in my head, that would create their own internal coins rounds and have it at 65% silver
Mm,
and 35% other stuff, whatever it would be,
right.
other metals, and then sell that as pure. That there's
Jeez.
too much room to have, shenanigans
Mhm.
going on. So you got to stick
Mm.
with what the mints are producing, and that's what gets put into your precious metal backed IRA.
Safe. Yeah, that's a good basis of quality and purity,
Yep.
recognizable. So yeah, that makes sense. So hopefully that answered your question. We're gonna move on to another question here. Um, how can we get involved with SDRAs with Entrust Group?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help you directly walk through the process, how it works, the ins, outs, and truly, go through your specific questions and the plan type and how to get that over to the Entrust Group. So thank you for putting that up there. That's my direct phone number. It says 949, but I am actually located in the state of Florida, with mobile numbers. You don't have to change them anymore. And then there's my Calendly, so you can just hop on my calendar as well.
Sounds great. Yeah,
Great.
anybody wants to contact her, there's her information. Feel free to
Yep.
reach out.
And I think it's dropped in the comment section as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's
Yes, anyone that's on Facebook or YouTube will be able to just copy and paste that if they would like.
perfect.
Let's see, I think we have about one more question before we get into our final words here. No, that was already asked. Let's see. How do grading services like PCGS and NGC impact long-term investment potential within self-directed? I believe we answered that question. Is
Yeah, not applicable.
not
Not
applicable.
applicable.
Okay. Yeah, you have to have recognizable coins.
And
So
certain purity, I mean, I would really encourage you. So again, through the entrustgroup.com, if you search in the search bar precious metals, you can look at the certain grading that's available. We also have a really wonderful precious metals team that certainly comes across a lot more metals, than I'm able to speak with companies directly on. So you can also reach out to me. And again, I can try to get as many questions as we're, permitted to answer possible. So feel free to do so, or check out our website, which lists some of the metals that can be held. And then down a little bit further is the purity that it's required to be.
Yep.
And so it's in that little green, in the green box.
expand this here.
Yep, right there.
Yep. It's like 0.995 plus on gold, silver 0.99 plus, platinum 0.9995 plus, and palladium 0.9995 plus.
Okay.
So looks like you guys accept quite a range. That's good.
Yep.
Yeah, quite a bit can be held.
Yeah, I see that 1,000-ounce silver. That's significant.
Love it.
Love it. All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
What good information we've put out today, and I
Yep.
really believe that this will help people. And that's what we're here to do. We want to educate, we want to help, we want to be seamless, transparent, and really, you should take the time, if you're listening to this, if you're going to be listening to this at some time in the future, if you just found us while scrolling on your phone or a tablet, take some time to look into this. There's no downside in at least gathering some information and putting some thought into it. That's my 2 cents, if it means anything.
Yeah, any some parting words you would like to share with our guest, Rachel?
Just that self-directed IRAs, they're a very unique and powerful tool with, that power comes, where you need to put some knowledge. So asking questions, doing your own due diligence, seeing the different investment opportunities that are out there. Always educate. Again, we have a great learning center. So again, I would really review what you're investing in, and even just the different opportunities out there. There's quite a few, as we mentioned on the show. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on and look into more.
Yeah, we'll share your information one more time just to get out there. Let's see there. So yeah, check us out, or check out Rachel Stolrow at Stolrow at theintrustgroup.com, 949-335-6391, and you can contact her on her calendar and set up a meeting. And
Yeah.
we'll be sure to come back here every week, everyone, at 1 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. You can catch us at American Coin and Currency. I'm Dustin Lee, head of social media. We're here with our co-host, John Madey, founder and CEO of American Coin and Currency. Special thanks to Rachel. Appreciate you being here. Business Development Manager at the Entrust Group.
Yes.
And yes, thanks for everyone being here. We'll
Thank
share
you
our
so much.
contact.
Yeah, absolutely. I've loved the conversation. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks, John and Dustin, for having me. It's been such a pleasure.
Likewise.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Take care.
Talk soon.
For the journey.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.